Hi, everyone. Now we're going to start our first class. Just a reminder, I'm going to start with task 2, okay? Task 2 is the IELTS writing section. So just to remind you, I'm going to show, this is the first class. I just wanted to remind you, I'm not going to show the structure yet, and I won't be teaching grammar just yet. I will give you a little bit of grammar separately, which is about the gerund, and I'll post it soon, okay? But here, right now, I'm going to show you what would be considered a band 5 in task 2 and what would be above band 5. I'm going to show you what you cannot do in your IC, what is strictly forbidden to do in your IC. I'll show you which tense you should use to write your IC. Remember, we're still not talking about structure yet. When I have the structure lesson, I'll show you the structure here and we'll get started. I'm going to have a lot of material to provide for you. It's going to be really cool and you're going to love it. Let's start now with what you absolutely cannot do in the ECI. Shall we? I'm going to share my screen here, okay? And here we are. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here, right? That's it. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Okay, let's go. What can't you do? Remember that I'm teaching in Portuguese, but I'll also have a class in English separately, okay? But I like to give, I'm teaching in Portuguese at the request of my students, okay? So look, what can't you do? You can't use personal pronouns. Like, for example, in the first person, I will give you a clear example, like students must further do this. Instead of putting students, putting you must do this. You can't. You can't use first person, I will, you, they. No, I even insist that you don't use they. So I'll show you all of this, how and why. You can't. Here, I'm talking about the advantage, okay? Advantage of the advantage, hold on. You can't use only one side, just the advantage or just the disadvantage, okay? Remember that I'm going to start with advantage and disadvantage, but you can take what you can't do here and apply it to all the other 6 types. Oh, let me say this because I forgot. In IELTS, there are 5 types of task 2 essays. Advantage and disadvantage, opinion. Both use direct question and problem solution. One of them will come up. I'm going to go through all of them here. We're going to start with advantage and advantage. And here I'm already talking about what you can't do in advantage and advantage. But this also applies to the others. Of course, advantage and advantage has a different structure. Each one has a different structure. But in the end, once you get through advantage and advantage, everything else is easier. So let's go. You can't talk only about the advantage. No, you can't. Mix advantage and disadvantage. No. Don't forget to paraphrase in the introduction topic. We'll see all of this when I show the structure. I'm still going to show the structure, maybe in the next class. You can't. And this PDF here, I'll make available to you on my website where I'll open a page just for YouTube, okay? You cannot introduce new ideas. That's for everyone to understand, okay? No new ideas should be presented in the conclusion. The conclusion is intrinsically linked to the introduction. I will show you this important aspect as well. You cannot use informal words, which I will demonstrate for you. A lot, nice, get, think, absolutely not. You cannot start with a body paragraph. No, you need to have an introduction and there will be a sequence. And I'll show you. It's a structure, a sequence that you'll have. You can't, that means you can't, but try to avoid using the same words, especially advantage, 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 pros and cons, benefits and drawbacks, positives and negatives. There are several. We are going to try to use as many synonyms as possible. You can't use contractions. Don't, can't, won't, no, do not, cannot, no. Okay, and let's move on. This one is for everyone. Lies and advantage. This one is for everyone. Look here. Slang. What is slang? Slang terms, you cannot use them. So, cool, gonna, things like that are also not allowed. I'm going to, then you go and abbreviate to gonna, cool, none of that. You have to use formal alternatives. Slang is neither professional nor academic. For example, kids, you may not know this, but kids is slang. We are going to use children. You cannot use phrasal verbs. Absolutely no phrasal verbs. We will always use single verbs, and most of them should be academic. Avoid informal words. Emotional language. Like excellent, fantastic. No, we are going to use something like a very positive issue, okay? Nothing like excellent. We will use significant and other neutral academic words. Contractions, I already mentioned this above. No, we can use abbreviations like TV, info, IDs, but under no circumstances should we use any other kind of abbreviation, okay? Absolutely not, okay? Use words as they are, all right? Personal pronouns. So when it comes to personal pronouns, we will have techniques to avoid them. Using the passive voice is one of them. Instead of simply using the pronoun they, we will now use a more specific and appropriate proper noun. Students, people, individuals. And if you've used those a lot and can't think of any more, then we'll use a grammar structure. The passive voice is often used to omit the first person. Do you understand that? Okay. Basic words like good, bad, a lot, forget them, forget them, forget them. I'll show you this. You have to forget about it. Instead of good, we'll use beneficial, detrimental, significant, considerable, if it's something big, okay? So this gives a boost. It increases your score, like I mentioned before. The other video, Lexile research, okay? Repetition, I already said no. No repeating. Avoid repeating words, okay? So as I always say, let's truly say goodbye to I and goodbye to you. Let's definitely and unequivocally say goodbye to I and goodbye to you, all right? Forget about I think. We're going to say it can be argued. I believe. You can use I believe, in my opinion, okay? I even allow in my opinion, all right? For band 6, 7, okay? But it would be much better to use phrases like one could certainly argue that, or it is someone else's considered opinion. I will thoroughly explain all of this in detail, so please don't worry. You can also confidently say it is quite evident that. We should, no should. Society, no we. Society should, individuals should, okay? No personal pronouns. I believe is allowed. The 26, 27, it's allowed. But it's better to use it is believed. Okay? No, I'll stop here. Today, let's move on to the next video where I'll explain what a band 5 is and what a band above 5, 7, 8 is. Okay? This is important before we start our ECEI. Before we begin working on the ECEI, we need to learn what a band 5 is. Because it's important to know that IELTS is not just any other proficiency test. IELTS is IELTS, okay? It's a proficiency test. And if it's a proficiency test, guys, what do we need to do? Improve our English. And that's great because our English will improve in a way you've never seen before. And we'll keep getting better and expanding our minds, okay? I'll see you in the next video. Let's go, let's go.